365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This will be past, present, or future. You or someone around you. So take a resonance, leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, simply check out the description below, and I will assist you with doing so. Remember that tarot is a tool. It's not the final rule. So please have an empty cup if you really want to see what's up, okay? And today we're going to do past, present, future, and solution. Okay. We're doing past, present, future, and solution. Okay. Thank you all for stopping by. Hi. Okay. All right. And so in the past collective, I have the world card and it's upside down. And so with the world card being upside down, I'm picking up on someone who feels like things are incomplete. You could be feeling like things are out of balance for you. You could feel isolated or some kind of stagnation, okay, with the world card upside down. You feel like your world is upside down. You're feeling incomplete and imbalanced. You could be trying to figure out or contemplate, in the past, you may have been very focused on, what is it about me? Why haven't my ships arrived? What is it about me? There's nothing interesting happening in my life. You could also have reflected on in the recent past about maybe how much you have watched other people move forward in their lives. This could be your opinion of how you view yourself, okay? And so this reflection that you have had and thoughts of yourself, feeling like you're watching other people's life move past you. Spirit is saying that we all have a life of our own. As I always inform you, all are individually, uniquely, divinely created. And the thought that you felt like, or you have reflected on several times, that you feel incomplete or you felt that someone else was getting ahead of you, know that we're not in a competition and that this is a journey that will be continuous. These are cycles. Everything happens in cycles, okay? And throughout those cycles, things shift. And also, we all are, because we are uniquely and individually divinely created, we have our own missions, our own paths, and our own gifts and purpose. And when you step into the acknowledgement of accepting your spiritual nudge, of learning thyself and learning who you are, you will learn first that you are an individual and you are, there's a lot of intricate parts, spaces, and places of you, of who you are, your uniqueness, the reason you exist, your gifts, your abilities. There's so many levels to you individually. And it's different for all of us. As many people or humans that exist in the world, in the vast assimilation that we reside in, we all are different. We are uniquely different. And so it's not that you have watched people move past you. They are in their purpose. You have observed people, dealing with circumstances that are within their own purpose, whether it was part of their divine purpose or they're learning something karmically. What you were observing was what is for them. And so Spirit is saying what is for you, collective, will never pass you by. So this is past energy, okay? So I'm also picking up a recent past as well. You may have been reflecting on this feeling like things are upside down in your world or things are stagnant, okay? All right. Now let's go with the present. The present energy here, we have the Two of Wands, okay? With the Two of Wands, this represents needing to make choice or take action. And so after needing to make a choice, there's a need for you to focus on setting some kind of goal for yourself, some kind of mark you would like to reach. Okay. And so this could be maybe You felt things were stagnant because you were bad with finances. Okay, it happens. Maybe you were the one who had to have all the bags, who had to have the latest and the greatest name brands or labels. It happens. Maybe you were a shopaholic. Maybe you were a hoarder. Maybe you were someone who would spend, over circulate your finances. Misappropriate your own funds. Okay, maybe you use shopping as a therapy. There are people who do that and who will tell you they do that. And maybe this within itself, because when one area of your life is imbalanced, it will create a domino effect in other areas. And so, because you did not have a positive rapport when it came to the cash flow, the blue cheese in your life, this could also have reflected in other areas. And so, presently, you could be coping with this, working on spending less, working on saving, working on ways to be more frugal, whether this is not eating out at restaurants all the time, maybe doing meal prepping, maybe buying, not worried about having high end. Maybe you have decided to, what, I can buy some off brand tissue. I don't have to have that same detergent that I use. Yes, these are situations that people deal with, real situations. Okay, so you could be in reflection mode. I've seen someone like at a table with a pen and a pad or a piece of paper and writing down different ways that you can save money, that you can be more wiser, so that you can shift that relationship. So this is something you are already aware of. Okay, you are fully aware of this, even if you have not said it out of your mouth. You know within yourself, like, I need to cut back. Let me, you know what, I really don't need that, let me cut back. Okay, you could be someone who has a lot of clothing, a lot of shoes, a lot of material things. Okay, just like this these shelves are full of persons behind her. Okay, and this could also be a male energy as well, metaphorically speaking. You could be a male with a shoe closet, full of over 30 or 40 pairs of shoes, and you're not done shopping yet. I'm also picking up someone who has a home where maybe you're taking up all the closet space. This could be a disagreement with your spouse, like, wait, where am I going to put my clothes? And I see someone buying more storage place for their spouse because the closet and the drawers at home are already taken up. Okay, so what you're not using, it'd be a good idea to just go ahead and donate it or pass it forward. Go ahead and get it out of your space. But I'm seeing somebody who you could have maybe two closets in your house, and I'm talking about two walk-in closets full of clothes and shoes, along with extra storage that you have purchased. But presently, you are working. So this is past, this is present. You are working on that. Okay, all right. And so in the future, I see the Nine of Wands here. The Nine of Wands is perseverance. So you will overcome, this relationship that you have when it comes to money, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to how you spend, and how to make the right choices. It's not about being cheap. It's not about being stingy. It doesn't mean you're broke. It just means that you are wise and you understand the concept of money. You understand that it is energy, and you're not in a anxious energy where you feel, oh, I gotta get that bag. I gotta get it now. I gotta have it. This is the only time it's going to be on sale. No, it will be there. What is for you will never pass you by. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you kindly. I appreciate it. But this Nine of Wands here represents you persevering, overcoming whatever it was that made you feel that your world was upside down and things were not being favorable for you. It represents you being aware and you're making the changes. Okay. Just like this person is jogging on a path, this could be possibly this person could be jogging, maybe working on weight loss, maybe for someone, not for everyone. And I'm using that as a metaphor to explain, you're slowly but surely in your own way making positive changes. Okay. Um, so don't be so hard on yourself while you adjust to making these changes in your life, because it could be money for you or it could be something else for you. Whatever you feel that has created stagnation or imbalance in your life, where you felt that you wanted to make changes, but it seemed like nothing was happening. but you knew some kind of decision had to be made. It could be anything, but you are working towards that. And with this Nine of Wands being here, this is confirmation that you're going to have a positive outcome. You're going to see more money, more increase. You are going to work on spending less. You're going to work on maybe your health. Maybe your wealth. You're going to work on maybe communication. I'm picking that up. Maybe there's someone who had issues with communicating. And when I say communicating, I'm talking about communicating effectively and efficiently, being able to communicate so that a person can understand what you're saying without you flying off the hinge. Okay, now I'm picking up on someone who's temperamental. Maybe you were someone who had a temper. Maybe you were someone who was quick to slap, and maybe you're working on that. You're calming down. You're not wanting to slap people so much more now. You're realizing the impact that's having on your well-being of you being angry and upset. You're realizing that energy is coming from you, and you could be working on being more peaceful, trying to come towards a more tranquil nature, slowly but surely. You could be maybe doing some meditation. You could be maybe doing a little meditation, okay? Doing some affirmations, some chanting, some grounding work, prayer, journaling, dancing. But you're finding something to calm that temper down because you realize that it is affecting you. When you get upset, it goes for any of us, not just you, for all of us. When we become upset and we're screaming and having these ping pong screaming matches with each other, and your veins popping out of your neck, and you're calling a person everything up under the sun, you know what? We're really putting that pressure on ourselves energetically and on our bodies physically. No, I'm not a licensed medical physician. I'm just speaking metaphorically from these cards. But either way, we're putting pressure on ourselves. And we think that we're affecting the person we're speaking to in a sense, but you're as well impacting yourself because what you comes out must return. And so that's why it's mindful. I always express to be mindful of what you put out because it will return. Okay. And the solution, it looks like the solution you have found a way to maintain with the Empress here, male or female. Remember, both genders, do reside in both male and female. Okay. And so with the Empress energy here, we're closing out with this represents being nurturing, caring, abundant, very stable. That person who's very confident, very grounded. And the Empress energy is someone who's earned their rite of passage, very independent, very secure within themselves, okay? Where you could have people maybe coming to you, wanting to know, how did you do it? How did you do it? How did you become more responsible and save all that money? How did you lose that weight? How did you start that business? Whatever it is for you that made your world feel stagnant, how did you get things moving along? We remember we used to know you when things were so different, you know. And so the solution is you learning and accomplishing, okay, how to maintain this new frequency, this new lifestyle of, maintaining your health, your well-being, maintaining your temperament, being mindful of how you communicate, practicing that meditation, your affirmations, okay, doing what needs to be needed. Maybe you're even switching your diet because you realize that certain foods can trigger you. Oh, that's another video. Can trigger you and affect your temperament. Okay. All right. You're being more wise. You're not so anxious, just because you have extra in the bank or you have, your credit cards on you doesn't mean because you're going past a mall that you have to stop. You're not likely to stop. I'm picking up on someone who possibly likes to shop on their lunch break on the way to work. Okay. That kind of thing where I gotta stop, just there's a store. Ooh, let me go in there. You're getting to the point you'll be at a level where you'll learn how to let the money rest in a bank and grow and grow. And if you feel the need, the desire to make a purchase when necessary, you'll do so. But other than that, you won't be so anxious. You won't be, moving at with haste, but at a pace. You'll know how to let things simply just be. Okay. All right. You won't be hoarding things. You won't be over harboring things. You'll learn how to relax more. And as I said, as you work on one level, one area in your life, it will create a domino effect. So, in the past, it was the world card upside down. It was stagnation. You felt things were stagnant. And things were stagnant because there was a decision to be made to change some sort of habit. And you have figured out a way to do that for yourself. And it was not easy, but you found a way to persevere. You found a way to overcome and make it through. And your solution is the Empress card. You found a way to maintain this new energy, new frequency, this new way of being, and existing here on planet Earth. Okay. This concludes the read of past, present, future, and solution. Later.